Welcome back to Bombastic Nation and Ting and Ting and Ting. Back with another vibe for you, know what I mean? And this one is called 10 Dark Irish Legends. You know what I mean? I like reading watching videos about legends from other countries, you know what I mean? I did one on an Irish shape-shifting goddess earlier. So I decided, you know what? This one pop up. I'm gonna take a look and see what this is about. You know, this one, like I said, it's called 10 Dark Irish Legends. Let's YouTube and simmer.
Ireland is known for its folklore. Much of this folklore is a combination of both Christian and Celtic influence, which gave birth to a series of unique tales.
You see how this is another thing that proves me not the same, because you see it says it takes legends and Christianity stuff and kind of mesh it. That's kind of happened in the Caribbean with voodoo or obia and Christianity or the Catholic Church. It sort of meshed into one, and because the slaves, they couldn't use their mythology or religion from where they're from, so they sort of incorporated it into the Catholic Church, you know, a little bit, and that's how they kept all the other stuff alive. And they just say it right there on with the Irish legends. That's kind of cool. You see, we're not that different.
Tales. From a mysterious island to a headless monster, here are 10 dark Irish legends. A silver coin. He put a cross on top of the coin to prevent the devil from transforming back. In return for freedom, the devil agreed to never claim his soul again. A while later, Jack died, but he was denied access to heaven as he'd been sinful. He then tried to go to hell, but like they agreed, the devil also denied him access.
What?
The devil gave him a magic piece of burning coal, which will always provide light for him. Denied access to both heaven and hell, Jack has walked the earth ever since. On Halloween, it's said that evil spirits enter our world for one night. That's why people carry around pumpkins, to disguise themselves as Stingy Jack.
Wow, that was interesting right there. Does that where the jack o' lantern come from too? I was wondering if he's gonna say that, but he didn't. So that could just be me wondering. But that was cool.
There is said to be a mysterious creature known as Fetch. They appear before humans to warn of their coming death, and always take on the appearance of those they appear for. It's like the Irish version of a doppelganger, but they only appear as omens of death. So according to legend, if you meet someone who looks like you in every way, you will surely die soon.
Luckily for me, nobody looks like this. There's nobody that looks like me out there.
It is said that Marjorie McCool died and was buried in 1705. She was buried with a valuable ring on her finger. This was known to many locals, and a grave robber soon dug up her body. He attempted to pull the ring off her finger, but was unable to. So he pulled out a knife to remove her entire finger. But as soon as he cuts into her, she starts screaming. She wasn't dead, but had been buried alive. Historians tend to doubt the authenticity of this tale. However, it's said that she lived in the town of Lurgan. In a Lurgan church cemetery there stands a gravestone which says, Marjorie McCool lived once, buried twice.
Wow.
St. Michan's Church has stood in Dublin since the year 1095. Underneath the church are 5 vaults, which contain the mummified bodies of many dead people. Their mummification was caused by the atmosphere in the vault. For many centuries, mysterious tales have been associated with them. It's said that every full moon, the mummies come to life and leave their vaults. On the streets of Dublin, they would search for houses where everyone was asleep. If the inhabitants had left their door unlocked, the mummies would enter and suffocate their victims while they slept. They only have the energy to do this during full moons. At other times, they can't even move, but they can be heard whispering, with their voices echoing through the vaults. In the 5th century, there was a notorious chieftain called Arbitac. He was a real tyrant, hated by his own people, so his people asked a rival chieftain to murder him. Arbitac was soon killed and buried. His people celebrated their liberation, but Arbitac soon rose from the dead. He demanded his subjects pay him a blood tribute to keep him alive, but instead they killed and buried him again. But as he was already dead, he arose from the grave every time. They soon realized it wasn't working and sought the help of a sorcerer. They learned that Arbitac was no longer human and that he could only be slain with a magical sword. They were given a magical sword to do this, but when they returned to their village, everyone had already been killed. Their blood had been drawn and Arbitac had escaped. He still wanders the Irish countryside, hunting for blood to keep him alive.
Vampire thing.
There are many headless horseman legends. One of the oldest comes from Ireland. The Dullahan can sometimes be seen riding a black horse. There is no head on his shoulders. Instead, he carries his skull in his hand. He rides his horse constantly until someone dies. When that happens, he arrives at the place of death to claim their soul. The Dullahan carries a whip. If anyone sees him, their eyes will be lashed out with that whip, which is made from a human spine. There is just one way to defend against him, with the use of gold. Show him even a small amount of gold and he will flee in terror. But the Dullahan can cause a person to die simply by screaming their name. The name Dullahan means dark man, and he is said to be a unique type of fairy. The Banshee is a female spirit. She usually takes on the form of either an old hag or a middle-aged washerwoman. The Banshee is an omen of death, causing her victims to die. Anyone who encounters the Banshee will hear her terrifying scream. Her scream is deafening, and if you hear it, you'll soon die. You may pass in the coming months, or you may instantly fall dead, with your body immediately decomposing. The Banshee is said to plague certain Irish clans. Those clans no longer exist, but their descendants are known to the Banshee. When she identifies a family to plague, all its male members will be targeted by her. Only members of those families will be able to see the Banshee or hear her scream. Halloween is celebrated all over the world, but it began as an ancient pagan legend. The Irish pagans believed in two separate worlds. The first was our own, where we live. The other was occupied by the spirits of dead people. There was a barrier between the two worlds, but this barrier would weaken for a short period each year. It was always at the end of October. For one night each year, spirits would be able to cross the barrier into our world and roam freely. Not all spirits came peacefully, so people would wear masks to disguise themselves as spirits also. By the next morning, the spirits would have returned to their own world, and regular Irish were safe for another year.
Halloween is fun.
Now that was interesting. Now here's a little tidbit there. I didn't really know what Halloween was until I came to this country. Because when I was growing up, where you guys have Halloween, we have All Saints Night. And what we did on All Saints Nights is we went to the graveyard and we light candles on graves of people that have passed on. And I heard a lot of stories about my grandparents and stuff sitting at the graveyard. You know, and that's what we do. And the interesting thing about that is we have something we eat called asham. And what it is you we patch the corn, but you roast it, and then you grind it up, and you add sugar, brown sugar, sugarcane sugar, and cinnamon and stuff in there, and you eat it like that. Oh, that is so good. It's called asham. Now you could choke on that because it's a dust pretty much, but it tastes so good. And when I say a dust, I mean the corn dust after you don't grind it up. But anyway, that's how we celebrated. That was what we did. And then I came here and, I'm seeing all these little ghosts and goblins running around. And I was like, what is this? What is going on here? But anyway, man, thanks for watching this with me, man. Nice having you all here with me while I watch this stuff. But anyway, keep watching. It's right there, man. I'll put another one right there so y'all can keep watching because this stuff is cool as could be. Cool.